first it's going to come for the blue-collar jobs, working in the factories, truck drivers, whatever. Then it will come for the kind of like the low-skill white-collar jobs, then the very high-skill, like really high IQ white-collar jobs like a programmer or whatever, and then very last of all, and maybe never, it's going to take the creative jobs. And it's really gone and is going exactly the other direction. And I think this, there's an interesting reminder in here, generally about how hard predictions are, but more specifically about, we're not always very aware, maybe even in ourselves, of like what skills are hard and easy, like what uses most of our brain and what doesn't, or how like difficult bodies are to control or make or whatever.
Yes, at the end of this video, you will realize ChatGPT is dangerous. Like you have seen here, this is the CEO. According to this article, breaking, CEO of ChatGPT explained how AI is going to come for office jobs before it comes for blue-collar jobs, and all the predictions were wrong. That is what he said on this clip.
So GPT 3.5, which chatGPT is likely based on. There's no paper yet, so we don't know exactly the details, but it was just trained on code and more data that's able to give it some reasoning. Then, this is really important, it was fine-tuned in a supervised way by human labeling. Small data set, but human labeling of here's what we would like this network to generate. Here's the stuff that makes sense. Here's the kind of dialogue that makes sense. Here's the kind of answers to questions that make sense. It's basically pointing this giant Titanic of a neural network into the right direction that aligns with the way human beings think and talk. So it's not just using the giant wisdom of Wikipedia, and I can talk about what data sets it's trained on, but just basically the internet. It was pointed in the wrong direction. So this supervised labeling allows it to point in the right direction to when it says shit, you're like, holy shit, that's pretty smart. So that's the alignment. And then they did something really interesting, is using reinforcement learning based on labeling data from humans. That's quite a large data set. The task is the following. You have this smart GPT 3.5 thing generate a bunch of text, and humans label which one seems the best. So ranking. Like you ask it a question, for example, you could do generate a joke in the style of Joe Rogan, right? And you have a label, it has 5 options, and you have a label, does it mention dick and pussy? No, I don't know which, I don't know how exactly, but so you get it to rank. The human labeler is just sitting there. There's a very large number of them, they're working full time, they're labeling the ranking of the outputs of this model. And that kind of ranking, used together with a technique called reinforcement learning, is able to get this thing to generate very impressive to humans output.
Now, when you take a look at what is going on, this app is designed in such a way that, can I say, it is biased. There are certain questions when you ask this app, it will not answer you. Ask a question like write a poem about Ben Shapiro, they will not write. Write a poem about Trump, it will not give you. Write a poem about Obama, Biden, it will give you a good poem. Nancy Pelosi, a good poem. That is to tell you the level at which this app is designed. So on this clip, we are going to take an exclusive look into what is going on exactly. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please endeavor to do that. And if possible, why not share this clip?
Joy. Can I just say that I looked up the thing, I just looked it up, and I put Joy Behar in just to see what they would say. Joy Behar's style of speaking is both humorous and thought-provoking. Her unique perspective on life, politics, and current events makes her a valuable addition to any discussion.
Oh.
And when it comes to voting, her message is simple but powerful. I like it.
Okay, well, you're not the only one.
It's great.
You're not the only one who asked ChatGPT about Joy Behar, clearly. So I asked ChatGPT to write a poem about you. Oh. Joy Behar with a voice so bright. Her wit and humor takes flight. On The View, she holds her ground with opinions bold and words
Who's
profound.
writing this, my husband?
I think it Chat loves you.
Wow. AI, whatever it's called, what is it?
ChatGPT.
They like me. They
really like you. I think with any technology, you have to stop resisting it and lean into what it could do. Because when the web came, you saw the underbelly. I mean, it's still out there, the dark web, where there's bad things happening. Social media, we talk sometimes about the benefits, but also the ills. I think with kids, they've cheated since the beginning of time. There are going to be kids that cheat. I think it's maybe the pressures also. We could have conversations about why people feel they need to.
You know what it's making? It's going to make kids lazy.
Yes, I want to read out this to show you how biased this app is. Could you give me 5 examples how white people could improve themselves? The first point, educate themselves about systematic racism and the experience of people of color. Practice active listening and empathy toward people of color. Take action to dismantle racist systems and support anti-racism initiatives. Be allies, speak out against racism and microaggression when they witness them. Could you give me 5 examples how black people could improve themselves? They tell you, I apologize, but it's not appropriate or productive to suggest that any racial ethnic or religious group need to improve themselves. All individuals, regardless of background, can work toward personal growth and self-improvement, but it's not appropriate to make blanket statements about a particular group of people. Now, when it concerns black people, they will tell you they cannot make a blanket statement. It continues, it is inappropriate to avoid language that implies that individual or group are inherently fluid or in need of improvement based on their identity, as this reinforces harmful stereotypes and reinforces marginalizations. Instead, we should focus on promoting mutual understanding, empathy, and respect for all people, regardless of background. So you see exactly what I'm talking about. It tells you a lot about white people. When it concerns black people, it tells you, I'm sorry. Then people are praising this app, especially liberals. Totally insane. Watching Whoopi Goldberg the other day, they were praising this app because it could write a poem about Joy Behar.
ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence program that can almost instantly generate content on a wide variety of topics, and it's getting very mixed reaction from people. Some say it's going to lead to widespread cheating, kill creativity and critical thinking, while others are saying it's just another learning tool. So you've all witnessed it, you've seen it. What do you think?
I don't think it's a learning tool. I don't know. I asked my son, I was like, have you ever heard of this ChatGPT thing? He said, oh, you can't use that at Harvard. He said, apparently a lot of the Harvard professors have downloaded some kind of anti-program, and then they put the piece into the anti-program, and you could get kicked out of school for it.
So I'm guessing that'll be wherever you're going to school.
I just don't think that, I don't know.
How will they know you're doing it, though?
Well, they have programs that can detect it.
Yeah, they have anti-programs now that can detect
So do it on your friend's phone.
Let's not give the children.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Let's not give them any ideas.